Have yourself a great day, everyone. From the Watchdog, I'm Darnell Foster.
The views and opinions expressed on the following program are not necessarily those of this station or its sponsors. The afternoon drive continues with more news, sports, and talk on the Watchdog.
Headed down south to the land of the pines. I'm thumbing my way into North Carolina, staring up the road and pray to God I see headlights. I made it down the coast in 17 hours, picking me a buckhead.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, once again, you are listening to the Watchdog Afternoon Drive. My name is DJ Danner, taking you through up until 5 p.m. right here on FM 98.1, AM 1600, WKKX, FM WVLY 97.7, and AM 1370. Lola, I know it is not Thursday, but we're going to have a throwback at least segment right now. Let's and to prepare you for what's going on later on in the show, guess what I brought from home?
What did you?
I brought a new segment called "What Did I Buy on Amazon?" It's here, ready to go.
Okay.
So we're going to talk about that like around that 4 o'clock window. But let's go back through what the Ohio Valley used to look like when I was growing up, because there was a lot of places that are not here anymore. And Lola, you're from around the Detroit area. So when you hear me talk about a couple of places, if they're keys into your head about something that you remember, it triggers something in your head. You're like, okay, I remember something similar. By all means, jump in. So we'll start down south, southern part of the Ohio Valley. To me, was Benwood. Okay, so we're not going to go down as far as Moundsville. We'll start at Benwood. Hills. I remember Hills like it was yesterday. Hills was the best store ever for a kid. Like, you walked in, they had the cups, the sports cups. And I still have them. They're in our studio basement. And probably worth money now, but I'm not selling them. But they are, it had all the NFL teams. And you had to get a cup every time you went in there. Now looking back and seeing how my son is, when I walk into Walmart, I'm like, okay, I was probably annoying to my parents too.
I'm sure you were.
He's like, come on, Dad, let's just go look at toys. It's okay. I'm like, no, it's not. And then I get suckered into buying something, and I'm like, okay. But no, Hills, and I have a Hills t-shirt. I think I bought it on eBay. But Hills, to me, it was, and then it went into Ames, but Ames didn't have that same luster that Hills did. Hills had an aroma too when you walked in, and I don't know what the place is down there now. I think it's, I want to say it's something where you can buy roofing parts and things like that. I couldn't tell you the name of it because it's been a while since I've been down there. Now, just right above them used to be Value City Furniture and Value City, the department store. A lot of people just think Value City Furniture, but they used to have a department store too.
That I remember.
When
I first moved here.
When you first moved, so that's how far back you moved here. Okay.
Well, yeah.
Now I'm on the same page.
And Hills. I got my first Jamboree in the Hills wristband at a Hills, I think out by the mall, maybe.
Yeah, because there was where Royal King is.
Yeah.
That's where Hills. But see, we never crossed over to Ohio, so I didn't know until I was later on in my teens that there was actually a Hills over at the Ohio Valley Mall because, for whatever reason, when you live in West Virginia, you need a passport to cross the river.
Just about.
That's how people treat it. For whatever reason, you can't cross over the river. No, you need a passport. It's dangerous. Don't go over there. But no, I do remember Value City, which is now a car dealership, of course. Right across from them, we talked about this earlier. I told you about a chain restaurant that literally had, I'll never forget this, because I went down from my grandparents' house, which was up the street. I went down to stand in line, and they were 3 blocks deep, ladies and gentlemen. I am not making this up, that when Taco Bell opened up down in Benwood, There was a line 3 blocks deep to get a taco. I am not making this up. Fast forward to 2020. Really? I mean, like, and you want to talk about Saturday night at 2 a.m. in the morning and a bunch of drunks going through the drive-thru trying to get, no. That's nothing compared to what it was like when they first opened up, because that was the first Taco Bell in the Ohio Valley.
Well, it's just like Chick-fil-A here now.
Yeah, exactly.
Hours. You'd wait in line.
That is a very good comparison.
Yeah.
I mean, people weren't camping. Don't get me wrong. People weren't camping. Did you ever see the video, by the way, about the boy? He gets interviewed. He's sitting outside waiting, and he's like, "I like chicken. That's fried chicken. I like chicken. He makes the reporter to seem dumb. I love that kid. He's like, "It's chicken. It's fried chicken. I like chicken."
Well, it's like Popeye's spicy chicken sandwich. People were stabbing each other to get those spicy chicken sandwiches. Now,
Popeyes
I've
is
had
really
it.
good.
Oh, I love Popeyes.
I'm surprised we don't have one here in the Ohio Valley.
I know.
Like, I honestly, if I'm looking at the demographics, downtown Wheeling would be a nice spot. Downtown Wheeling, I mean, it'd be nice to get some more restaurants, obviously. I mean, everybody obviously is, it's the mall or the Highlands, and I'm not taking anything away from it. I love both, and I've got great relationships with both areas. But to me, I feel like, man, Popeyes would just dominate if they went downtown Wheeling.
Well, a fast food.
Yeah.
Everything is sit down, which is great. But at lunchtime or just for something quick, you just want to get in and out, and take it with you. But yeah, every time we come through Morgantown, or not Morgantown, Washington, from Morgantown, we stop at Popeyes.
Yeah, we went to Columbus. We were driving through Columbus a couple times, and we got it to go. But yeah, it is really good. But yeah, we don't have one here in the Ohio Valley. That's shame. But then right up from Taco Bell in Benwood was Payless. So, we got our shoes from there pretty much. And then when you get further up, it's where it gets interesting, because Lowe's obviously was not there, at one point, which to me, I think when you look at all the Lowe's around the whole entire country, that is the most weirdest looking spot to put a Lowe's. I'm just going to say it. I mean, I'm from Wheeling, I'll say it. It's just weird that Lowe's is just sitting where it's at. Now, my aunt's house was actually in the parking lot.
Oh.
So, I grew up, when I was, a little kid, I grew up down around that area. So literally, I mean, like I watched, remember the flood back in the day, right before Lowe's came up, and it took basically all the houses. It took my aunt's house. Yeah.
What year?
It was the year that Brad Paisley and Sarah Evans ended up doing that Suds and Muds tour to help raise money for Wheeling for the victims.
So it was the flood of 2004.
I want to say it was 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to say
That
it was
was the
2004.
first year that the station was. In fact, we had only been on the air a week.
And you guys were down at the old location.
Way old.
Way
We
old.
were in the Laconia building.
Oh, okay.
And
Which this, by the way, I've never actually told you guys this online. This new studio is amazing.
yeah, it's
I love
really
it. It's
nice.
great.
It's nice.
So congratulations, guys. I forgot to tell you guys that.
Yeah, we stayed on 24 hours because we were trying to get people from point A to point B.
Yeah.
And nobody knew what was, because the roads were flooding and then receding and then flooding again, and yeah.
Yeah, it was crazy. But yeah, before Lowe's was there, like my aunt's house was in the parking lot, and they stayed with us because I had just moved back home. So they stayed with my mom and dad and me for a little bit until they got their new house, which they live up the street now, or whatever like that. And I remember, my aunt was she's crying because the house is
Yeah.
flooded. Here comes this idiot on a canoe, just like, what? I'm not gonna say who it was. Hey, what's going on? And I just remember my aunt was just like, look at this moron, just
Well, that's what I heard.
flying down in a canoe, just okay, here we go, It's like,
Before
yeah.
we moved onto the island, I was told, my house sits really high.
Okay.
And my first floor is like an entire whole story up before you get to living quarters. We got a big basement. And so I was told that's why all the electric, the cable, everything is all above ground.
Ground, yeah.
So if you're lucky and you're stranded, you can still have electricity and cable
and stuff.
and phone and all that kind of stuff. And that people would just come around with their little canoes or rowboats and paddle you up to the liquor store and come back with your beer, So we were always kind of saying, well, but it's never gotten, it did then. I mean, I didn't own the house, but I think there was about 4 feet of water in the basement. But that's all the further it got. And then since we've lived there, knock on wood.
You haven't had anything?
No, it's encroached up the street, but it hasn't actually. I mean, my house really does sit high. It really sits high. So
Lowe's gets built, and it's so weird to see it because obviously, like I said, I grew up around that area. And what's even weirder is like the backyard. I remember the backyard and the alley that was behind my aunt's house. And I remember we, as kids, used to go play up on top of, like, they had the brick that sat up on top more, or the stone or whatever, concrete, whatever. And it was crazy seeing Lowe's being built. And I do believe there was other plans for other businesses to go. And obviously that went through that fell through. So, but it's weird seeing Lowe's there. And I remember one Christmas, like right after Lowe's was built, I was like, we were intoxicated, I think it was Christmas time at my aunt's house.
No,
and I was sitting there like, let's go down and mark our spot where your house was. And I'm just totally kidding. She's all about it. He's like, okay, we're going to go down and do it. And I was like, no, I'm going to get in trouble. I'm like, it's not a good idea. I'm like, yeah. But no, okay, I remember what Lowe's used to look like before. And up the street, is it Dollar General? Is it there now? It used to be the IGA back in the day. It used to be the IGA.
Right across from the
post office.
That's
It's not a Dollar General. That's a Family Dollar. It's a Family Dollar.
I frequent that.
Basically the same thing. Same thing pretty much. But that used to be an IGA, I remember that. As you head up further into, let's get into downtown Wheeling. Where Undo's is now. That used to be McDonald's.
I know.
And that was 2-story McDonald's. And as a kid, you wanted nothing more than to go sit up top.
Well, actually, that's a travel agency downstairs.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. It's a travel agency downstairs, and it is it's Undo's catering office.
Somebody tried to start a club in there, and it didn't fly. But
What wasn't the cork bottle next to it?
cork, yeah,
Cork and screw?
cork and wow,
I don't know. I never wanted to do it.
cork and
Is
bottle.
it just cork and bottle?
Yeah.
Okay, cork and bottle.
That
Okay.
now I did eat there one time, but we were all involved in a movie that was made here, and we used the downstairs, which really looked like an old, like a speakeasy kind of place.
Okay.
So we were all like supposed to be hanging out in a bar, and that was fun.
Do you remember what was on the opposite sides of where McDonald's used to be? Vagabond Kitchen, do you remember what it used to be?
Oh, it was a Mexican restaurant.
Before that,
No,
DeCarlo's.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, it was DeCarlo's.
I remember Acapulco.
It was DeCarlo's Pizza at one point. Now, do you know where diagonal from them, right across the street from where the old McDonald's used to be? You know what that used to be?
Big Boy.
LB's, yep.
Well, yeah, LB's too.
LB's Big Boy.
Big
So
Boy,
did Perkins. Perkins at one point
Yeah.
used to be LB's, yep. The little tiny hospital right by Perkins, right before you get on the highway. Well, you can't get on the highway now because the road's closed because of construction. Which, by the way, shout out to the construction workers. If you're driving, ladies and gentlemen, I know these guys do make good money, but, drop off a case of water, I think that would be like a great gesture. And I hope these guys, too, doing all this construction, I hope they get like a group picture at some point, because 20, 30 years down the road, they're going to remember working these past 3 years on these roads. And, I know traffic obviously gets kind of crazy at times, but it really hasn't really been that bad since we've kind of, started all the construction and things like that. But, hats off to those guys. They're working their tails off. And, if you get a chance, drop off a case of water to them. I think it'd be a good gesture and tell them thank you, because they're doing the best they can. And the bridge is going to look awesome once the other side gets blue. That thing's going to pop off, and I think about 4th of July, and if they could figure out a way to do the fireworks in between both bridges, would just be just an awesome view if they could figure out how to do that sometime. But yeah, the hospital that is, it's not a hospital. I apologize for that. It's not a hospital. The little place that's like right by the highway entrance. I'm drawing
MedExpress.
MedExpress, that's it. I'm drawing a blank.
Okay.
So yeah, MedExpress used to be a car dealership.
Where Vagabond is, that was Domino's, and then DeCarlo's was next door, but it also was Tom McCann or something. I don't know. We've got some phone calls. Here's Dan.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Before the Vagabond, it was a Domino's. And before that, it was Hanover Shoe Store. And next to that building is where DeCarlo's was.
Is that where that was at?
And before that, it was a Long John,
Arthur Treacher's, yeah, I've heard. I
And
did.
before that, it was William and Mary's Restaurant. There were two sides to it. That's going back into the 70s.
I need to turn his volume up because I can barely hear him. You there, sir?
Yeah.
Okay, I can hear you now.
You got to put the headset on.
Oh, I gotta put the headset on. Okay, well, I'm not used to this, so hold on.
Right.
So I heard him say Domino's. Now that is kind of triggering back in. Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, I can hear you a lot better now. Yeah, okay, I do remember Domino's now. Okay, so yeah.
Domino's was there, and before that, there was a shoe store for the longest time, okay?
That was before my time then. 'Cause I
On the
remember
cans. On the cans.
Okay.
And right across the street, in the bottom of the floor, was a Hanover shoe store, very top shelf shoe store. But back on the other side again, before Domino's, I always told you the shoe store. Next to that was where Carlos was, okay, the building right next to it.
That little tiny,
South.
yeah.
To the south. And before that, it was Arthur Treacher's Fish and Chips. And before that, in the 70s now, it was William and Mary's Restaurant. It was an old-fashioned style restaurant.
Yeah, that's way before my, I would not have remembered that one.
And right across the street where McDonald's was, there was a bar downstairs called the Red Bull. You had to go down the steps to go into it. And next to that was the original Ernie's. It was a smaller place before they built the bigger place. And then you had a bakery, then you had a restaurant, and you had Tops. Tops was a pretty sharp place for men to go buy, their attire and stuff. All on that one street.
What was the traffic like back then? What was the traffic like downtown?
In the 70s, it was, it wasn't that bad, That's when I'm going back to the 70s.
Yeah, because I was born in 82, so, I'm talking these stories here on my end from what I remember was, that 80, 87 to, 90, 97 kind of range.
And then right up the street from where McDonald's was, you had a huge Value City that you could enter either on that side of the street, the market, or over on the other side of the street.
Now, I remember Stone and Thomas. Up the street.
Yeah, well, Value City was down there on that, right there on that, right up from where McDonald's was. And you turn on either side, they had a record store in there. There also was a record store over on 12th Street called Slater's. Then there was another electronic place up next to the Court Theater called Black's, which had all kinds of stuff. But you can go up and down that street, you have wall-to-wall businesses on both sides of the street.
That's amazing to hear him talk about this, too. Just the thought. I remember what it was like for me, but, hearing you talk about it, too, I'm like, man, just how many businesses were downtown Wheeling.
And then there was a National Record Mart right next to it. I think the Value City left another record mart to the National Record Mart. It's huge. My records are huge. Then we had Yards Strip. Then you had a bank there. And then you had all the other shoe stores that you could follow up the street. Cross the street, you had Fetty's. You had the Joy Shop on the corner where, right next to where Louis Hot Dog was. There was another Louis Hot Dog also over on across the street from Sears. Sears was up on Pleasant Street.
Yeah, I remember Sears. Okay, yeah, I remember Sears.
Right across the street there was that little Louis Hot Dog.
I'm gonna look. Lola, before
there was Louis 1 and Louis 2, they were called.
Lola, before we go to break, I do want to ask him this one question. Okay, so sir, I love how you're telling us what it used to be look like. So you do remember when the Italian festival used to be all of downtown Wheeling?
It was all downtown Wheeling. It was up to the plaza and everything.
That was amazing, wasn't it? That was good times.
And there was a bunch of local businessmen, right? Then he got Skelly, was one of the guys, I forget the other, they decided, they went somewhere where there was a festival, and they decided, to do one, and look what it was. But you look what it became,
Yeah, I miss the old days of the Italian Fest for sure. I mean, like, it was downtown. Like, as a kid, I remember seeing that big stage in between, West Banco and where obviously like River City is and that kind of spots. And I remember like, the cops on the horses and stuff. And that place, I mean, just downtown Wheeling was just so packed. I mean, it was insane. Now, what's your name again, sir?
My name's Bill. My good friend, I'm sick, you're up in the beach and all those stores on both sides. And that plaza was real bad, and not that thing they got up there now with a couple of hot benches surrounded by parking meters. That's not practice. That's ridiculous. But if that plaza doesn't seem like it's taking in the right direction as far as I'm concerned. But I've seen a lot of big towns go down here, up through New York, and I could talk about a lot of others that I'm living in and stuff. So. No,
I appreciate you calling in, man. I'd love to hear outside perspectives, especially if folks are from around here in the Ohio Valley. So, man, I appreciate you listening. I hope you're enjoying your day too, man. And
I about city at one time. There was a really neat newsstand right across the street from the restaurant was catty corner from Sears, and there was a really neat newsstand right there on that forest bar type place. But there was other newsstands also down in the southern part of the business district. There's all kinds of stuff.
I'm always up for a good cigar. Well, listen, I hope we have to go to break here in a second. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks again, man, for calling. I hope you enjoy listening, and hopefully I'll get to meet you sometime down the road. All right, man. Thanks a lot. All right, Lolo, that was our first call, too, coming in, I think, ever that we've had something like it, besides CJ. CJ don't count, though, because that was kind of staged. But that was cool talking to that guy. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go to break here. Once again, you are listening to The Watchdog, The Afternoon Drive. My name is DJ Danner. We'll be back with more.
Managing your business can be a minefield. One step in the wrong direction, and it can feel like everything you've worked for is at risk. I always had a vision of building a team, a crew of true professionals that can handle it all, tax, insurance, and investments. Big enough to partner with Encova, but personal enough to protect your interests on the home front. I'm Gary, and this is the Glessner Group.
Oh, there's something so real about living local, and I know without a doubt I'm not alone. And I love living local. There's nowhere else I'd rather be. Say I love living local. WTRF is working for me. The Ohio Valley is where I love to be.
Today is the day to visit your Toyota dealer and save big on the car, truck, or SUV you've been dreaming of. Like an off-road ready 2020 4Runner or a rugged 2020 Tacoma, both with $1,000 cash back from Toyota. Or go with a stylish 2020 Corolla or adventurous 2020 RAV4, available with all-wheel drive, and get up to $1,750 cash back. Or take $2,000 cash back on a sporty new 2020 Camry. You can even drive away in an all-new 2020 Highlander with seating for up to 8 and get $1,500 cash back. Visit Toyota's official website for deals, buyatoyota.com, for more great savings, to check out inventory, and to find a dealer near you. All to help make buying or leasing your next Toyota easy and affordable. You can take cash back or apply to a down payment. Offers exclude TRD Pro models and hybrid offers vary. See your dealer for details. Don't wait, because today is the day to go see your Toyota dealer. Offers end September 30th. Toyota.
Wheeling Coin and Hobby on 10th Street in Wheeling, next to the Bridge Tavern in downtown Wheeling, wants to buy any and all unwanted gold and silver jewelry. They are paying top dollar for 10, 14, 18, and 22 karat gold plus 925 sterling silver. They also want to buy collectible coins and paper money from before 1933. Wheeling Coin and Hobby is open daily from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., Monday through Saturday. Coin and Hobby, 304-232-8430, and add them on Facebook. Hey, add a little excitement this football season and bet all the action on FanDuel Sportsbook. There's a reason why FanDuel is America's #1 sportsbook. That's right, #1. Their app is so simple to use. They've got great odds, exclusive promos to let you get more action out of every game day. Right now, FanDuel is letting you place your first bet risk-free up to $1,000. Just place a bet on any game, and FanDuel will refund you up to $1,000 back if you don't win. Seriously, there's no strings attached. Just place any bet you want. If you win, you keep the cash. If you lose, you'll get your entire bet up to $1,000 back in bonus site credit. So you can take another shot at the end zone on the house. Or you can see for yourself, risk-free. If you've never tried FanDuel Sportsbook, what are you waiting for? Download the FanDuel Sportsbook app to get started and be sure to sign with the promo code WKKX so they know that we sent you. You must be 21 plus, present in New Jersey, Pennsylvania, or West Virginia. First online real money wager only. Refund issued as non-withdrawable site credit that expires in 14 days. Restrictions do apply. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In West Virginia, visit 1-800-GAMBLER.
West Virginia's not like other places. We still know right from wrong, and people here help each other. That's why so many people in State Senate District 2 are voting against Mike Maroney. As a state senator, Maroney was the deciding vote to cut pre-K through 12 education funding by almost $80 million. Cutting schools, that hurts children, parents, teachers, and it gets worse. Maroney's vote would have forced counties to raise your property taxes. What else could go wrong? Well, politician Mike Maroney voted to tax your groceries, haircuts, and funerals. That's Mike Maroney. Raise your taxes and then cut funding for your kid's school. You and your family deserve better than Mike Maroney. So whether you vote early or by mail or on election day, vote against the politicians who vote against you. Vote against politician Mike Maroney. Paid for by Mountain State Values, not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee.
Millions plan for retirement online. Estimate your future benefits, apply for retirement, and manage your benefits all from the comfort of your home. And give yourself the freedom to do what you want offline. Social Security's online services help put you in control with secure access to your information anytime, anywhere, allowing you to spend more time with family, friends, or simply just enjoying the day. Social Security, securing today and tomorrow. See what you can do online at socialsecurity.gov.
A serious injury from an accident can be just the start of your worries. What if you cannot return to work? How do you take care of your family if you're disabled? At Gelner Law Offices, we represent seriously injured people and understand their problem. We know how to get you fair compensation. We will work hard to make sure you get the money you deserve for your losses. Don't go it alone. If you're hurt in an accident, call us at 304-242-2900 or visit us at gelnerlaw.com.
We'd like to help.
Highland Sports Complex is the coolest destination for sports and entertainment the Ohio Valley has ever seen. Pop in for some open basketball in our field house or reserve some turf time for your next practice or game on our synthetic fields. Online registration is open for development classes and leagues for youth and adults. Highland Sports is also the hottest destination for birthday parties and other events. So come challenge yourself on our play climb and enjoy your favorite virtual reality game in the arcade. No memberships required, so visit highlandsports.com to find your next entertainment experience and get ready to reach new heights.
Neil Brown provides a comprehensive overview of his team's season opening game during his weekly press conference. Hi, everybody. I'm Tony Caridi, and that story is coming up after this from Kroger.
Did you know that 1 in 8 Americans struggle with hunger? Yet more than 40% of the food we produce is thrown out. At Kroger, we know we can do something about this. We're donating more food to local food banks through our partnership with Feeding America. And we're working with World Wildlife Fund to end food waste. But we can't do it alone, and we hope you'll join us in creating a world with zero hunger and zero waste. Visit thekrogerco.com to learn how you can help.
Love getting prices that are lower than low on backyard favorites like grill-ready hamburgers and fresh-picked strawberries? Then shop at Kroger. We give you more ways to save on the fresh you love with tools like the Kroger app, where you can find personalized coupons on top of weekly sales, plus rewards like fuel points, giving you prices that are lower than the everyday low. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Mountaineer coach Neil Brown has been creatively dealing with this season ever since spring practice was canceled back in March. He's at it again this week since the Mountaineers have a bye week after playing just one game.
This is a week that's
not like a typical bye week. We've got to continue to make improvement. We're not going to spend as much time at the facility, but we're going to have more camp-style practices than bye week style practices. A lot of good work this week. We've got to continue to improve as we go to our Big 12 opener on September 26th.
Brown provided a comprehensive review of last Saturday's game during his weekly press conference yesterday. One of the topics was freshman defensive lineman Sean Martin of Bluefield, who did not see action in the game.
Sean missed the game due to contact tracing. He's well, he's fine, but he was he missed the game. He was a guy that we wanted to play, but he was out. He really had his best week of practice last week until he was out. And he was a guy that was definitely going to play, but still really, really excited about him. I like his makeup, how he's worked since he's been here on campus. He's going to be a real bright spot for us.
The Mountaineer head coach also announced the game's award winners. Running back Letty Brown earned the offensive honor.
The most impressive stat to me, and something that we've talked a lot about, and he's made a point of emphasis, is 0 negative yardage plays. He had 0 runs with negative yardage.
Defensive Player of the Week honors went to newcomer Tony Fields. Special teams top performer was Alonzo Adai. That is today's Mountaineer Report, brought to us by Kroger, the official grocer of WVU Athletics. I'm Tony Caridi on the Mountaineer Sports Network from Learfield, IMG College.
You can now watch the Legislative Watchdogs every Wednesday morning from 9 to 10 a.m. on Facebook Live. Talk radio taken to the next level. Only on the Watchdog. Give us a call and tell us what you're thinking. Locally, 304-214-1600. Out of the area, toll free, 866-514-1600 or 304-232-TALK.
My hair was long, caught somewhere between a boy and man. She was 17 and she was far from in between. It was summertime in northern Michigan.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, once again, you are listening to the Watchdog, the afternoon drive. Lola throwing some old school right there with Kid Rock. So before we continue with our Going Back in Time, which I think that's a great song to play with that, you know, Lola, we only have about maybe one more week of that song. We can't play that anymore because that's my biggest pet peeve. Well, one of my biggest pet peeves as a DJ is not playing summer songs in fall and winter. I just can't get it. Every time in January, I am guaranteed, and I'm not saying this about local radio stations, I'm saying just nationwide, I'll always hear Kenny Chesney's Summertime in January. I'm like, I don't want to hear that. It's not summer anymore. We're months away from summer. So, it's we have to enjoy that song, Lola, as much as we can right now because we're almost getting to that point where they can't play it anymore.
See, and with me, it's the opposite. All winter, all I'm playing is Jimmy Buffett.
No, I can't do it. I got to live in the moments. Live in the moment of the season.
Yeah, that's...
Listen, winter comes around, I'm playing Telluride by Tim McGraw, and I'm trying to head out to Colorado and dance with a cutie in a little dive bar and Telluride. That's my goal coming up in winter at some point.
Okay.
COVID or not, I don't care. But, okay, so, we were talking about throwbacks, what it was like kind of growing up, and, we had our first call in for that, which was great. If you guys have a story, by all means, call us back in. I'm going to go back towards the South Wheeling area, and we're going to continue to kind of go up. So we've already got into downtown Wheeling, what it used to look like back in the day. But there was a pizza place, Lola, that it popped in my head during break. It was called Tony's Pizza. And we would go there and get pizza after we played baseball down there by Wheeling Middle School. And Tony would not be open if he was alive today. The health department would have shut him down because, Lola, I'm not kidding you. I walk in to get pizza with my dad or my mom, and he's literally sitting on the couch in the other room drinking a beer and watching sports. And he comes out. Sometimes he's wearing a shirt, sometimes he's not.
That's a good old-fashioned pizza.
I mean, it was, and it was really good. And like, you know, he'd have these big, huge, you know, ovens, obviously. And this was a tiny, tiny building. And you knew he lived in the place where he created the pizza. But I just, you know, now looking back at it, it's like, yeah, the health department probably would have shut him down for sure. Like he would have been out of business.
Probably.
But it was great pizza. I mean, it was like that local place you go to. And every little town has one, you know. And that was
absolutely, and they're the best.
now. What was yours up around Detroit? What was your place? Because you had the chain stores, obviously, because you know Detroit's a big city. But
truthfully, growing up, we didn't have pizza except what was made at home.
Really?
Yeah, pizza was not a staple there like it is here. In fact, our food is like kind of different, you know. Came down here and people are telling me, oh, you need to put gravy on your French fries.
I don't do that.
I eat gravy on mashed potatoes. Steak salad.
I don't eat that either.
Nothing is more alien to me than having
steak
lettuce
salad
with meat and potatoes. I mean, that's a meal. You eat it on a plate.
Yeah, no, I understand that.
We didn't have steak fries. When we moved here, we got invited to a steak fry, and I said, oh, that's kind of nice. You know,
steak fries are awesome.
But we didn't.
But you just never had it.
And I was told, well, you got to bring your own plate.
Mm-hmm.
You got to bring all your own stuff, and you got to cook your own steak. I said,
I could go for a good steak fry.
I am paying money, and I have to cook my own. I mean, it just was. And our big boy was. The recipes were different than yours. Our Slim Jim, you guys put tartar sauce or some weird...
Nope, I don't do that. No.
Well, but I'm just saying, the first time you get a Slim Jim here, it's like, oh, what is on here? Because up there, it's a mayonnaise-based thing, but it's sweeter, and it's
I gotcha.
Really good. It's just all kinds of... It's just different. Up there we have party stores. Now, down here, a party store is like where you go to buy balloons. Up there...
Party Central, over in St. C.
Yeah. Up there, it's like a convenient is here. You know, that's
really?
A party store. That's where you go to get your beer, your liquor, your cigarettes, your snacks, all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, things are...
See, besides Tony's, there is another place, and it's still relevant. It's still here, and I've always said it's one of the hidden gem pizza places in the Valley. Pizza Villa. Have you had Pizza Villa?
Oh, I love Pizza Villa.
A lot of people. Anytime I'm talking to anybody on the Ohio side, I'm like, "Look, you guys want a hidden gem? Pizza Villa down in 29th Street is amazing." And I got Kellen hooked on it.
Their Hawaiian pizzas are.
Yeah. Now, I get done work late because one of my ex-girlfriends, she lives out towards like the Elm Grove area, so I would go to Patsy's, which used to be DeCarlo's. So I'm at Patsy's a decent amount. But I like downtown DeCarlo's. You know, I eat that. I mean, I kind of bounce around. I kind of give the business to everywhere, pretty much. But yeah, so Tony's definitely, you know, and then Tony passed away. But yeah, that was a throwback there. Most recently, you know, what we saw taken down, the Nail Factory got taken down, obviously, and they put all those new apartments up there. And I tell you what, I don't know who was working on that project. That went up quick. That went up very quick. And, you know, driving back across the river from Ohio, it was like, it was tough watching them take that down because like that, with the Nail Factory sign, it was like a staple when you drove over there, you know, okay, it's Wheeling. It's part of Wheeling. But seeing the new apartments up, it's like a rebirth. It's actually refreshing. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, like it goes both ways. I see both sides of the coin on that part. Let's go out towards National Road here. Sheetz. I remember when Sheetz opened up. I'm not going to say things that happened at Sheetz when they first opened up, but you know, I got some pretty entertaining stories down the road. My experiences at Sheetz. But do you remember what it used to be?
A Baskin Robbins.
Yes, very good.
I've been in.
I know, but it's been a long time.
And West Virginia since '97.
It's been a long time, though.
Yeah, but when they closed down an ice cream shop, some of us really paid attention to that.
I mean, Sheetz was. I remember when it opened up. I mean, they weren't as bad as Taco Bell. I mean, there wasn't line, but I mean, it was pretty busy. I mean, it still is busy now. I mean, it's a great location. Whoever invested in that, very smart. I remember when the Highlands was just getting kind of started, and I was working at Huntington Bank. We talked about that earlier on the show, where I used to work at back in the day. And I said, man, if I was an investor, I would be putting a Sheetz up there in a heartbeat. And literally, like, somebody stole my idea, Lola.
Now there's two.
Now there's two.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's what I would have done too. I'm sitting here, I came up with the idea, and I'm not getting nothing, Lola.
Snooze, you lose.
I mean, it's just ridiculous. I feel like Kramer from like Seinfeld. It's like, that was my idea. I didn't have the money to invest in it, but it was still my idea. But no, Sheetz going out National Road. I mean, that was huge when they came out. You remember Kroger's used to never be out there either. Mount Deshaunel.
I guess.
Where was Kroger's at?
I don't know. I go to the one in Ferry still to this day.
That's the one I go to because I live over there.
Well, but I know where everything is there. I can go up and down those aisles with a blindfold on, and I know exactly where to pluck everything that I need. So
Kroger's used to be. There was two different Kroger's. There was a Kroger's in Benwood, which that's not there anymore. Okay, and then there was another Kroger's somewhere else. I'll tell you, unless somebody calls in and tells me where it was at. We'll kind of see, but there was another Kroger somewhere else, and then they built the one out Mount Deshaunel, which that one, I mean, that's great out there. That's a really good one.
It's so big.
And then we're gonna go back to Lola. We're gonna get back to my high school days. And Foggy Bottom. That was the staple of my childhood. Was Foggy Bottom. We all went out there. They had the bowling lanes out there, which now all that's sleds.
Yeah.
But I mean, that was such a devastating blow to the youth of the Ohio Valley when that went out. It was just, I don't know everything behind it. We don't know really the story. I never really kind of dug into figuring out why that all didn't happen. But, if you're going to invest in something now, somewhere, I think somebody just told her too with the answer to the Kroger's thing. But if somebody's going to invest in something now, invest in something for the youth, for the kids, something for them to do, because there's nowhere to go. We don't have the teen dances like we used to have back in the day. I know a few people approach me about doing teen dances, and you can't kind of get it off the ground, and it's tough. You got the answer for that?
Yeah. There was one next to St. Mike's.
Yep, that's it.
And the other was on 29th Street.
There you go. Yep. St. Mike's looks. I mean, that I'd say that looks amazing.
Once I heard that, I remember hearing that.
Yep. I don't know the specific year, but yep, I do remember that being out there. Shout out to whoever that was that called. Thanks for giving us the answer. That's a good throwback. But yeah, back to Foggy Bottom. I mean, like there's just nothing for the kids to do nowadays. And I mean, like now I'll talk about the Highland Sports Complex. I've not got a chance to go in there and scout it and go look, but I mean that's a proper step in the right direction. But if your kids aren't doing athletic stuff, then they're not able to do it. Now the Ohio Valley Mall, they got the huge gaming place over there, which is great. It's a step in the right direction, but there still has to be something else. There has to be something else. I don't want to specifically say it has to be a putt-putt or a bowling lane, but I mean just something for the kids in the valley to do, because I mean just there's nothing, and now that generation before them didn't have anything to pass over to them either. So it's just like you have nothing pretty much to say, the generation that is right after these kids that are in school now, that folks that are in their like early 20s to mid 20s or whatever, they have no stories of what it was like for us back then, because they didn't experience anything. So they're telling the younger generation, we had nothing. It was just.
We went to Foggy Bottom, I think the very last year that they did that big haunted.
Haunted for the Halloween thing?
Yeah. That was scary. That was good.
And I'd say what, there is there's a Halloween place down in Benwood right now. I did his wedding, and I cannot remember the name of the place to save my life right now. I'll try to figure it out. But he just opened up I want to say like it's just like not a maze, but it's like a haunted house. You can kind of go in.
He had it last year, didn't he?
Yeah.
I wanted to go to that
Cooley,
one,
I think was the last name.
and we never made it. And we did the one in the pen one time too.
And, he had a great vision with it and stuff, and he was a great guy. He was a great guy to work with and stuff. But I know that's down there. But speaking of Halloween, Lola, I get through the Bridal Expo this coming Sunday. I got some things up my sleeve potentially for Halloween. The anticipation is Halloween's going to be canceled for the most part. Not a lot of people are going to do anything in the Valley. But, I've got my hands in a few tiny projects, one on the Ohio, one on the West Virginia side for the kids. We'll see what happens. I'm getting really excited about Thanksgiving. Lola, I've got my last big event for November, or for the 2020 crazy year. It's Thanksgiving, baby. It's Thanksgiving. I got a Thanksgiving Day event that it's to be the first one.
Okay.
I'm not going to tell you specifics about it, but I'm feeling like I'm in the giving mood. I'm going to leave it at that. I'm in the giving mood this Thanksgiving.
Does this involve helicopters and turkeys?
No.
Okay.
It does not.
I'm just asking.
No, it does not.
Okay.
Who have you been talking to? All right, anyways, we're not going to talk about this anymore. Okay, back to Foggy Bottom. But yeah, so Foggy Bottom was a throwback. But now, like I said, now it's all completely sleds. So it's going to be interesting to see what is going to go or change over this next 10 years as we embark on a new decade, which is obviously not started out the way we hoped it would have.
It's got to get better.
It's got to get better. Well, you hope that 2021's not sitting in the background going, hold my beer, get ready.
I know.
That's really what you're hoping for pretty much right now. Coming up here on the last hour, Lola, we've got my Amazon bag here. What did I get on Amazon? Where it's a new segment we're going to kind of try to talk about. And I just got a text message. We've got confirmation that the friendly bet is on with Generations and the Tiger Pub. And Friday Night Lights, our Ohio Valley River Rivalry Cup game, of course, this Friday. If you just are now tuning in, we made the announcement earlier. Today on the radio, I made the official announcement last night on my DJ page. The game will be Wheeling Central at Shadyside. Lola, the friendly bet is finally confirmed. I just got text messages about it, and it is between Generations and the Tiger Pub.
Right.
If Wheeling Central defeats Shadyside, then the Tiger Pub will buy the coaching staff's lunch.
Okay.
If Shadyside wins, then Generations will buy the coaching staff from Shadyside's lunch.
Oh,
so that is locked in.
Bet.
That is a great bet. And, it's two restaurants. All the restaurants in the Ohio Valley have been affected. And what I wanted to do, I texted these guys. Actually, I talked to Mike yesterday. And I was like, I just want to do something fun. I was like, I'm hyping this game up. It's a big game. Both teams, slow starts to the year. They're basically neck and neck. I feel like they're going to be even pretty much. It's going to be a close game. And I was like, I really kind of want, the communities to kind of come into this and kind of, enjoy this build-up of this game. And I said, what can we do? I said, I don't want to ask you guys for sponsorships because I'm still looking for sponsors myself. But I was like, I don't want you guys to donate me money or anything like that. I said, I just want to help you guys out because just as much as I've lost business, they have lost businesses as well. And, you have to help support the local businesses in the Ohio Valley. I firmly believe that. And, I was excited. They came to an agreement, and I just got confirmation that it's a go, and I'm excited. So one of the coaching staffs is going to get free lunch, whoever wins. So now Halenka and Young do not know about this yet. So, I know they're both practicing right now, so chances are somebody will probably spill the beans and tell them before I do, which is fine. Now, I'll see Halenka first because I'm going back over to Shadyside tonight. They have a middle school game or a JV game or a little kids game. They have something going on in the stadium because we're going to film afterwards with the lights on that beautiful new field, which I was just on it yesterday, Lola. I mean, it is amazing.
Is it?
It looks really great. But glad to lock that in. Was that a phone call about back in the day? What do we got?
Yeah, it was just reiterating where Kroger was.
Where Kroger was, and that's great. I mean, like I said, I didn't know if you knew. I knew where the one was out St. Mike's. And St. Mike's, I mean, I'd say what that church is beautiful out there. I mean, they've done a great job out there. That whole area out there looks really great.
I've been to basketball games at St. Mike's.
I have not been there yet. No. Well, because Kellen goes over to St. Clairsville for school. So had we lived in Wheeling, I would have pushed for, obviously him to attend Wheeling Central. I probably would have pushed for him to go to St. Mike's actually too as well. But no, little man's over in St. C. He's just finishing up school too, so he should be home from the bus. Excited to see how his day was. He got a green card yesterday.
A green card?
A green card. Green card's good.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Green card's good. So he got that. And, I get him tomorrow. I got to pick him up in the morning and take him to school, and then I get to pick him up after school. So it's going to be a fun.
That's good.
But I miss him. I mean,
I'm sure
it's tough, when you're co-parenting and stuff. And now that he's in school full time, it's like, man. And now I'm going to get stuck with his homework. I mean, I'm not prepared for this. I'm not prepared to, I did my 12 years of school, okay? I put in the time.
Get used to doing another job.
I'm sitting there I feel like this is a trick to see, how, intelligent his parents are. Because, we have to
how
help.
well you paid attention when you were in school.
Well, the way they're learning math and everything is totally different. And my parents probably said the same thing about the way I was learning things. You evolve over time, Yeah, so we'll kind of see. But coming up on the show here, the last hour, we're going to talk about, like I said, what I bought at Amazon. I know a lot of people buy from Amazon, so we're going to talk about that, a few other things. But once again, we have more coming up right here on the Watchdog Afternoon Drive. My name is DJ Danner. We'll be right back.